relation is actually what's real. It's when we see the other person, their higher self. We see who they really are. We appreciate it. We love it. And then it doesn't take very long for the ego to enter in and go and start hating what it once loved because it hasn't accepted its own wholeness. It hasn't even begun to do its shadow work. And because of that, all the pain and suffering come up, which is very, very difficult for people. And so we get into this. You find somebody that you really like and you're really crazy about, and then all of a sudden the ego enters in very quickly and it becomes attached. And it says it should look a certain way. And that if the other person cares about you, that they will commit. And that commitment is love. And the reality is that commitment is a lot like security. We seek commitment because we want security, right? We're seeking security, and we think that the other person, if they commit to us, then we will feel secure. I like what Bob Parsons says. He's the founder of GoDaddy. I like what he says about security. He says security is for cadavers. It is our fear that seeks security. It is that fear that seeks security, thinking that our happiness depends upon what other people think, their acceptance, their approval, and their returning love to us. The most invulnerable person in the world could care less if love is returned to them, and they never hold back from expressing or sharing that love because their source of security and happiness and joy does not depend upon any other human being. It depends on only one thing, their connection to source. Right. Nothing else. So the very key to being invulnerable is to letting go of the belief that someone giving you 100% commitment, what is commitment anyway? I mean, is there anybody who can be 100% committed? They say, well, okay, if you're going to jump off of the cliff, to be committed means to jump all the way off the cliff. You can't leave your arm or your leg back there, right? It can't be left behind. But in a relationship, you would be out of your mind to commit 100% to another individual no matter what, no matter what, no matter what. You can commit to loving them unconditionally no matter what, supporting their magnificence, but you can never commit to somebody who is trying to kill you, who might be beating you, who might be cheating on you repeatedly, somebody who isn't accountable, somebody who's deceptive. It's impossible. And yes, every day is a brand new day. It doesn't matter if you've married somebody and you say you're committed no matter what, no matter what. Every day you get to choose all over again. Whether you're going to be there for them, whether you're going to trust them, whether you're going to live with them. And this, by the way, living with, loving somebody are two separate things. Trust and respect are earned. Love is unconditional. I can love somebody unconditionally and never see them again.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting what Coach Steve put on here. He said if in any moment we can be 100% committed, then the moment changes to the next moment. So
yeah, if we're honest with ourselves, right?
Coach Steve.
Absolutely.
Right.
If we're honest, how in the world can we say that we are going to be 100% committed to living with somebody or being married to somebody? How do we know that? How do we honestly know that? Only people who believe that they are in control of everyone's choices and their decisions can actually, you know, and they delude themselves into believing that, right? And so I can totally commit to love somebody, and that never changes. That absolutely never changes. That love is unconditional. But trust and respect and being willing to live with somebody unconditionally, no, I could never do that. I could never do that because the reality is that I can only love another human being as much as I love myself. You know, there's a commandment that says to love God and your fellow man as yourself, and I have news for everyone, and that is we already all live that. Guess what? We all live that already. Wow. We all are already loving other people to the extent that we love ourselves. We're already loving people to the extent that we already love ourselves. And so in order to be able to give love to other people, we have to love and honor and respect ourselves first. And to receive that from other people, we have to love and honor and respect ourselves first. And you have no control over whether another human being, no matter how much you love them or see them, I have this ability to see who people really are, and I just want to envelope them and love them so much because I see that beauty in them and I see that magnificence. But the reality is, unless they see that, it makes no difference. It makes no difference if they're choosing to live from their ego and their ego fear. It doesn't matter how much what I see. It doesn't matter how much I love and support their magnificence. What matters is their choice to live in their crap rather than also knowing their own magnificence, and that has to be a choice of their own.
Absolutely. There's a couple of comments I want to read to you because they're pretty awesome.
Okay.
Eagle said something of that about trust. To someone today, people have tendencies to look outside self for security and trust, but have not found this connection within. It's like a dog chasing his tail, can't even fulfill from an outside. He cannot fulfill from an outside in mentally, I guess. So that's
mentality.
Great.
Absolutely. It's like we can run away from our tail, but every time we turn around, it's behind us. And that's the key to invulnerability. The key to be completely invulnerable to pain and suffering is the person who is open-hearted, open-armed, willing to love whoever crosses their path, willing to receive information from anyone and everyone. However, at the very same time, they accept nothing as true for them except that which has been confirmed to them by source, personally, from source to their mind and their heart. So knowing how to do that is the most important thing that you will get out of the Codex manuscript, out of the Codex e-course. It is the most important thing that every human being needs and has to learn, has a right and a responsibility to learn, because as long as you believe that your happiness comes from anything outside of you, you're in trouble. We all have a little bit of that. I'm still working on that.
Oh, yeah.
I've gotten a lot better with it. I got over needing the acceptance and approval of maybe this community I grew up in, and now I love them even more. Maybe I got over the acceptance and approval of my parents and my extended family and so forth. And this last year I got to give up the need of being approved of by my own children, and who I cherish and adore. And again, you can only love others as much as you love yourself, and as